said, I don't know all about it, but it just doesn't seem like that would be the proper role for our government to be spending the money on. I wouldn't think that would be prudent.
Jim?
I like your answer so far. What's
Well, thank
your
you.
basic idea about what government should do? What do you believe about that?
Well, being in the trucking business, we're regulated by the federal government, so we have to follow a lot of strict guidelines as far as, hours of service and inspections, and we have a lot of involvement with the federal government. And I think, in a lot of instances, the government should get out of some things. It's more. I think when they increase government, the next thing is they're going to increase taxes to pay for that. Increased government. Best way I understand. And I think that would be, a little bit less government. I think would be better.
Sure.
I have a question on your comments about kids being proficient in English before they're in public schools. To you, personally, what is the most important thing? That they can speak good English or they're legal?
I tell you, the reason I put that is my 8-year-old son has a speech problem. And when we were in Harris County, it was a big, it was a big to-do. We couldn't really get as much help as we did in Montgomery County. We feel like that they have worked in Bear Branch Independent School. They have really helped us kind of get him past that and given us a lot of good ideas as parents that, we just didn't know how to get through it. What I noticed was that to answer your question, to speak English, there was a lot of emphasis on ESL, English as a second language. I don't know if they call the program something different here, but there wasn't as much. It was real difficult for us to get our son in these speech classes when it seemed like the ESL classes were a whole lot easier for them to get into. And so what's the second part of your question? I'm sorry.
What's more important to you, that they know English or they're legal?
Yeah, the legal thing I think is the primary problem. I think they have to be legal, and that goes into a whole nother thing that we really have to address in some way, and the hard work has to be put in somehow. There has to be a plan to make these to close our borders or to stop putting a lot of strain financially on our school system. I think with the amount of illegals that are in it.
Do you have an opinion on bilingual classes?
Yeah, I probably do. I think that it should be just English classes. I think it's. That's just personally how I feel.
Right.
You see on here you're conservative. Explain what you mean by conservative, or what you think a conservative is.
I'll tell you. I can tell you my idea of it and how it pertains to me. In my business, I have to, and that's all I'm going to tell you about because that seems like what I know. I have to save a certain amount of money, monthly to make payroll. Obviously, weekly with payroll, and I have to set back a certain amount of money for my, for my truck expenses and just my general expenses, and I have, for the last 9 years. And conservative, I think, is not going too far into debt. Is really what it is one of the major things to me, and not to borrow and borrow and borrow and borrow, because one day it's going to catch you upside down, and you'll have to pay the piper. So that's how that's the primary thing I think about when you say conservative.
Since you've been in business, trucking business for a while, has the business franchise tax hurt or helped your business?
Yeah, I think trucking industry, it's hurt. Yeah, it's my accountant says that it cost us I don't know, $5,000–6,000 more last year. I'm not exactly I read on it, but she explained to me last year when we did it that it did hurt us. It affected us more so than some other industries.
So if you were elected, you would work hard to repeal that law?
Yeah, I think I'd have to learn more about it, but I sure would like to have my, extra money that I spent last year back. So, yes.
I'm just wondering if you could maybe, if when you consider all of the issues, whether they be moral, political, financial, what are two things that you feel passionately about?
Moral, political,
Any of those, whether it be big government, little government, abortion, gay marriage, whatever. What are two things that you
What's your
feel
hot button issue?
passionately?
yeah. I think one thing that, just because I understand it is a little bit, is transportation and infrastructure. I think that's what I you know, I kind of understand a little bit, you know, our road system, just because of the nature of the business I'm in. A lot of our roads are, you know, that they needing to have some more attention, I think, and some of our infrastructure, I think, could be better maintained. You know, if you group those together and say a second would be education. I think that, like I said in that survey, just to have less strain on our schools for non-English speaking kids that enter. I tell you, for example, and then my wife, she told me this. I don't know, so I'm going on what my wife said. Is that last year when the kids were in J.L. Lyons Elementary, that the kids that were in English in the ESL class were bused. They were dropped off at Lyon Elementary, and they were bused down the road, I think, to Sawmill Elementary. After they were dropped off at school. Now, I don't know exactly how that plan worked, but I think that the kids were moved, you know, throughout the day, and then obviously went to, because they probably just had one teacher for that, and then moved back later to go through the rest of their class or be picked up. And that's kind of a strain, I think, on teachers and on faculty and on, you know, resources. So I think that's the second thing that I
Brian?
think a lot about.
So on the transportation thing, what do you know about the trans corridor and
You
what's
know,
your view on
I
it?
knew that was going to come up, and I should have studied more about it. I don't know. I don't really.
Okay, so what's your view on it then? You don't know, or?
Yeah, I just not. I don't know enough about it to tell you really what my thoughts. I mean, just no more than what I've read a little bit, but I don't know.
Adrian?
There's two issues you kind of broached here, education and transportation, and they're really big problems. On the education side, the schools claim they don't have enough money, yet they have $8,000 per child, and less than half of that is direct education. So I want to know, if they ask you for more money, would you give it to them? Second is on transportation. The move is TxDOT wants everyone to fund locally all their roads with toll roads. And, you know, I would be surprised that you didn't have an opinion on toll roads.
Yeah,
So education and toll roads.
yeah, the toll road thing I'll say first is that you know, it's twice as bad on my industry, because usually typically they charge us by weight, you know. So just from a personal standpoint, I know that the toll roads are you know, it goes right to your bottom line on business. And two,
So what's the principle then on toll roads? I mean, are you for them, against them?
no, against them,
Mhm.
against them. Yeah, I'd be just
What's the
wholehearted.
principle of why you're against that?
Well, I just think that if toll roads, and no more than what I know about them, if they're being built with taxpayer dollars, and then it's a toll, I mean, I don't know where the toll is going. So the toll goes directly to the state. I mean, where does it go?
It
I mean,
evaporates in thin
We don't-
air,
yeah. I mean, if it just goes away, then, you know, it's probably 9 kinds of other problems. I'm sorry, your second part of your question was?
The thing was about education, schools asking for more money as a solution to their problems.
Yeah, if what you're saying is that they're not spending the money correctly that they have, then we need to fix that problem first. And I can't, you know, I just have to be there to say my opinion, you know, based on what people in my district said. Hey, look, this is a problem. You need to look at it. You know, I wouldn't begin to say that I knew the issues and all this stuff. I could just say that, look, if you tell me this is a problem, you know, use common sense and see this isn't right, you know, then I can do my best to, you know, to try to make it right.
What about homeschoolers? Would you give that $8,000 a year that we send to the schools, would you give that to homeschoolers too?
To each family, just cash or by the way of a deduction
Whatever.
or some sort?
Just
Voucher.
yeah, just wanted to know what your thoughts
Yeah,
were on that.
I really would have to think about that. I wouldn't.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What, going out and doing all of this and exposing yourself to all of this,